Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories on a Sunday as nature intended. As you can see, I am trying to get comfortable here with El Derpa Lerpa perched on my knee, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. So, do you know what, Derp? I'm almost tempted just to put the cat bed on my lap, and then you can sit down on that. He doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway, what are we reading? We are still reading the excellent Haunted Places of Scotland. Oh my goodness me, what a banging book. What are we drinking tonight? Well, we're on a two-beer strategy again. We're having some Green Gold brewing. And it describes itself as West Coast IPA. Despite its European trappings, it's made by Brew York, Unit 1, Handley Park, Outgang Lane, York. I'm just seeing what it says. Doesn't say anything. Fabulous artwork, though. Although these days it could be AI generated, but it certainly makes it look like it's a Czech beer. But there we go, Green Gold Brewing, and apparently they're based in Brew York, Handley Park, York. So anyway, let's crack on, shall we? What else are we drinking tonight? Of course, we've got the single grain Scotch from Lidl, which is pretty good stuff, as Derp will testify. Not that he drinks it, but he certainly sees me drinking it and appreciates the oops-a-daisy, and nearly overfills the shot glass. Appreciates the atmosphere it generates. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. It's been a long day, folks. I was up at stupid this morning. I have been finishing off some artwork, 2 shows to do tonight, a bit of gardening as well. Anyway, what do you know? We've only just started the show, and run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Indeed. Right, Derp, here we go. Castle Loud, or Castle Loud, I think that is, Castle Loud. A fine and stately building, Castle Loud consists of an altered L-plan tower house of 5 stories and a later higher wing. The castle was built by Sir Roderick Mackenzie of Coigach about 1610. His grandson was made Viscount Tarbat and then Earl of Cromarty in 1703, but the 3rd Earl was forfeited for his part in the Jacobite Rising of 1745 to 46. The Earl was imprisoned in the Tower of London and was sentenced to death, but he got remission 3 years after the end of the rebellion. The property and the titles were eventually recovered. The drawing room of the castle is said to be haunted, although it is reputed to be by a benign bogle. I think we will go straight into the beer because it's been a long day, Derp. So slange me by everybody. Doesn't say what the ingredients. Let's just have a look and see what the ingredients are. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, yeast, allergens, including gluten, shown in bold, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give you any backstory. Never mind. Castle Leven. Standing on the edge of a ravine, Castle Leven is a strong castle that was built by the Mortons in the 14th century, but passed to the Semples in 1547. The building was then extended and altered in later centuries, and although it became ruinous, the castle has been restored and reoccupied. The building is reputed to be haunted by a white lady, the ghost of Marion Montgomery, who was married to the Semple Laird of the castle. The story goes that she persecuted and even tortured her tenants while her husband was away, and was sentenced to death by Mary of Guise, acting for the infant Mary, Queen of Scots. Marion was not executed, however, although her fate was little better. Her husband had her imprisoned in the castle, and she starved to death. Her ghost is then said to have haunted the castle, and reports of the Bogle date from the 17th century. It has been suggested that the owner of the time, wishing a better house in which to reside, concocted or exaggerated the story so that his father would allow him to build a new house. Bum, bum, bum. Come on, Derp, settle down, for goodness sake. Let's dive on in. Cheers, me beers. Oh, I think we will have a bump. Slange. Oh, lovely. Castle Loch Helipole, or Helipole. On a former island in the loch is the site of a strong castle of the MacDonalds, little or nothing of which remains, formerly square and turreted with a drawbridge. The castle, to read that again, on a former island in the loch is the site of a strong castle of the MacDonalds, little or nothing of which remains, formerly square and turreted with a drawbridge. That makes sense. The castle dated from the 14th century or earlier and was later held by the Macleans and then by the Campbell Earls and Dukes of Argyll. They had a causeway and factor's house, known as Island House, built on the site in 1748, which was then altered and extended in the 19th century. The castle had been besieged by the Campbells in 1678-9 and was ruinous shortly afterwards. The factor, called MacLaren, who had the house built, is said to have died before he could enter it. His ghost reputedly haunts the house, as does a green lady, which is said to be responsible for unexplained noises in the 1970s. Lights are also said to be seen in the windows of the house when it is unoccupied. Island House, renovated in 2005, can be rented as holiday accommodation. Island House holiday accommodation available www.inverary-castle.com/pages/content. Incroyable. You enjoying this, Derp? I think you're enjoying the warmth. So, slange me for everybody. Oh. Cheers, me beers. What have we got here? Oh, it's bottle openers. Castle Menzies. A grand and substantial building in a picturesque location, Castle Menzies is an extended 16th century tower house built in the Z plan with turrets crowning the corners of the building. As the name suggests, this was long the seat of the Menzies clan. Bonnie Prince Charlie stayed here for 2 nights in 1746, although 4 days later the family were thrown out and the castle was taken by Hanoverian forces, led by the Duke of Cumberland. Silly sausage. The chief did not support the rising, but many of the clan, including their leader, Menzies of Cheyenne, were killed at the Battle of Culloden in 1746. The last of the Menzies line died in 1918, and during World War II, the castle was used as a Polish Army medical supplies depot. The castle became derelict, but is being restored by a trust established by the Clan Menzies Society, who acquired the building in 1957. Castle Menzies is said to be haunted and to have a grey larder, and there are many reports of unexplained activity from recent times. Manifestations are said to include footsteps coming from an unoccupied chamber, shutters closing by themselves, as well as a door, and disembodied voices and laughter being heard, sounding as if they came from children. Strange smells have also apparently been noticed. The fragrance of perfume coming from one chamber on more than one occasion, and an unpleasant smell experienced on the ground floor. Many visitors have reported unpleasant feelings and have decided not to enter the castle, while one account relates how a young girl saw something terrifying in one of the rooms and immediately had to be taken out of the building. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in June 2006. A paranormal investigation was undertaken by, in June 2006, Paranormal Investigation Scotland website address. That should be a paranormal investigation was undertaken in June 2006 by Paranormal Investigation Scotland. Goodness me, who proofread this book? I don't think anybody did. Oh, what do you reckon, Derps? I think it's time for another beer. Cheers, me beers. What are we up to? 14 minutes? 15 minutes? Oh, delicious. Oh, deliciouser. Castle of May, or Me. Castle of Me is an extended and altered 16th century Z-plan tower house, which was the Queen Mother's favourite residence before her death in 2002. The lands originally belonged to the bishops of Caithness, but in 1566 were acquired by the Sinclair Earls of Caithness, who built the castle. MacLeod of Assynt, who betrayed the Marquis of Montrose, was imprisoned here. The castle is said to be haunted by the ghost of Fanny, a daughter of George Sinclair, 5th Earl, who died in 1643. She fell in love with a ploughman, and the Earl, who disapproved, had her imprisoned in one of the attic rooms, Lady Fanny's room. Here she pined away, but got some comfort from seeing her lover from the window. Her father, however, then had that window blocked. Despairing, the poor lass threw herself from one of the still open windows, and she was killed on the courtyard below. Her sad spectre, a green lady, reportedly haunts the castle. Her ghost is said to have been witnessed during the renovations of 1953. Open to the public in the summer. Check with castle or on website, and there's a phone number and a website address, but we're not going to be that OCD that we're going to read it out. A beautiful bookmark, St. Mary Magdalene Church, Taunton. I have not been to Taunton for a couple of years, driven through it a number of times recently, but not had a good schlep around Taunton for a long time. I think the last time Reg and I did that was year before last. I'm trying to remember. We've lost the county stores. We've lost Poundland there. It's pretty grim. And we've lost Debenhams. Goodness me, Derps. All the places I enjoyed. Anyway, Slangsby Bar. Oh, lovely. Cheers. Castle of Park. Sat in extensive grounds, Park is a large mansion and castle which may date from 1292 but was built or rebuilt into a Z-plan tower house in 1563. The building was extended down the centuries and is a private residence again. Park was a property of the Gordons and then of the Gordon Duffs until the 1970s. Sir William Gordon of Park was a Jacobite during the 1745 to 46 Rising and had to hide around the grounds before escaping to France, where he died in 1751. Park is said to be haunted by a green lady. The story goes that a young servant girl became pregnant and was dismissed from service. She committed suicide by hanging herself, and her ghost is said to have been seen in the grounds as well as in the house and looking from the window of a second floor chamber. The apparition of a cloaked and hooded woman was also witnessed on one occasion. Other apparitions and spooky occurrences include the phantom of a monk, is he called Harry? Let's find out, who was walled up in one of the castle chambers on the ground floor, and the sounds of a disembodied child's voice and a music box, only heard in the upper quarters. Quick changes in temperature have also been reported, as well as vague shapes moving across rooms. Items are also reputedly frequently moved or disappear, only to reappear later. That could be this place. Goodness me. A number of times I go to pick something up and it's not where I put it. I blame him, but it's the easy option. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely derps. Slange. Oh, right. We've got the coffee stout here, and we've got our other magnificent Rush beer bottle opener. Books are for tourists, beer is for geniuses, which is what it says on the reverse of the Rush beer glass here. So let's try and get that. There we go. So this is the coffee stout from Aldi for 5.2%. Okay, I thought it was less than that, but it's delicious, as is the chocolate stout. So we may be investing in some more bottles of this during the week. Rich, dark and indulgent, brewed in the UK in partnership with Hall and Woodhouse, the well-known 80s pop duo. Rich, dark and indulgent with subtle coffee aromas, caramel and vanilla notes, complex yet perfectly smooth. Oh, the beer burps at 21 minutes and 2 seconds. What a damn shame. If I'd have held on there for a minute, it would have been 21 minutes and 12 seconds, which would have been 21:12, which is a Rush album. In fact, it's their breakthrough album. So you off now, Derp. Bye-bye. Don't you jump up on the MacBook again. Right. Castle Spioradane. 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 We'll go with that. The castle, a property of the Macleans, was said to be haunted, and its name, Castle Spiredane, means fortress of ghosts. In the 15th century, there was a long-running feud between the Macleans and the Camerons of Lochiel. The fighting resulted in several Camerons being executed and their dead bodies hung from the battlements. But then many Macleans were slain in reprisals. Their ghosts, united in death by revenge, haunted the castle and terrorized the neighborhood. Also, it is said the old castle was demolished at the beginning of the 19th century with the construction of the Caledonian Canal, and human bones were found here. So I was just looking something up there for a second. That's what I was looking for. Bum, bum, bum. Very puerile. That's me. Dum, bum, bum. Bear with, folks. Bear with. What are we up to? 23 minutes. We're not even close to half time at the moment. So oh, big week ahead. I mean, I've got a project that I am hoping to finish off tomorrow early in the morning. Fingers crossed, meeting up with friends during the week. 2 Reg walk roundabout. That's right. Yeah, so hoping to have a 2 Reg walk this week. I don't know where we're going to go. It's my shout. It's my choice, and his shout for the victuals. So we'll see how that works out. Bear with. Derp's just about to jump up on the MacBook. Right, Derp, look, your bed is here, which you have been happily sleeping in these last couple of days. So do you want to go and sleep in your bed again? Come on. Do you want to get up on your bed? Come on. Oh, bloody cats. Castle Stalker. Dramatically sighted on a small island at the mouth of Loch Lake, Castle Stalker, meaning hunter or falconer, is a tall, massive and simple tower. The tower was built by Duncan Stewart of Appin, who was made Chamberlain of the Isles for his part in helping James IV destroy the MacDonald Lord of the Isles. Do you mind, Derps? We are trying to do ghost stories here. Come on. You're interrupting the show. This wouldn't happen on BBC News. You know, I was going to say the name of a newsreader. Then I remembered that he's been banished in disgrace. So anyway. Castle of Stalker. Right, here we go. Dramatically sited on a small island at the mouth of Loch Lake, Castle Stalker, meaning hunter or falconer, is a tall, massive and simple tower. The tower was built by Duncan Stewart of Appin, who was made Chamberlain of the Isles for his part in helping James IV destroy the MacDonald Lord of the Isles. In 1620, the castle had been sold to the Campbells, but the Stuarts retrieved it after a long siege in 1685, year of the Battle of Sedgemoor, although the Stuart garrison surrendered to government forces only 5 years later. The chief sold the lands in 1765 and the castle was soon abandoned. Although roofless in 1831, the building was restored from ruin in the 1960s. One story about Castle Stalker is that a ball of shining light was seen above the old stronghold as a herald of death in the Stuart clan. Open for some days in the summer, telephone number and website address. What are we up to, Derps? Coming up to 28 minutes, almost half time. Oh, not another Castle Stuart, really. No, Castle Stalker. Ba-ba-ba. Oh, let's top the beer up. Don't know about you, Dirt, but I get hungry. What have I eaten today? A couple of tabs of chocolate and half a banana and also a tin of tomato soup. You, on the other hand, all you've done is eat today. Is every time I've turned my back, you've been in the office hassling me for food. So anyway, what are we up to? 26 minutes. Can't see what the blessed time is. Anyway, cheers, me beers. In the magnificent Rush beer glass. Thank you, viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. God bless you. Just having a look. 29 minutes. We're coming up to half time. So let's have a quick swig of the old bump. Oh, we haven't put any bump in, Derps. We are getting lax. Slange. In fact, we have now bumped through the half-hour mark. So what to report on today? Nothing much. It was, like I say, I was up at stupid this morning, cracking on with work. I am this close to finishing off another artwork project, which is exciting stuff, because it's actually a project that I was due to work on 3 years ago. And in fact, it would have been the next artwork project I would have started construction on, started work on. But then, and unfortunately, it had to be handed over to somebody else to do. And the 2 subsequent iterations of it were done by other people. I, on the other hand, have been given the chance to go back in time and do the 3rd iteration of it, for which I am extremely grateful. It's slightly weird going back and picking up on artwork that I'd started 4 years ago, actually, because I'd started the preliminaries in 2022. But to go back and actually finish it off as a project, which is what I should have done in 2023, immensely satisfying, I think is the best way of putting it. Slightly unnerving, slightly what's the word I'm looking for, Derp? I was going to say moving. That sounds highly pretentious, but there is a a certain level of emotion attached to it, especially going back through artwork and stuff that I remember thinking to myself, goodness me, I was working on that at the time, but I was struggling with it because of the old. So yes, so to be blitzing through it at the moment and finishing it off, and actually it feels redemptive, I think is the phrase I'm looking for. Yeah, so I am really looking forward to tomorrow, to getting up bright and early, popping downstairs into the studio, finishing it off, and actually getting it over to the FTP, and then I can get on with other projects. What else is on the cards this week? Fingers crossed. Hopefully there will be chips and mushy peas with friend Faye. So if you're watching, friend Faye, bloody mushy peas and chips, love. Sorry, that sounds sexist, but and then hopefully meeting up with friend Laura, and then hopefully meeting up with friend Tara, and of course in the middle of the week, a walk with Reg. But I am mindful every day that every day's a bonus, folks. I really shouldn't be here. The fates had selected me to exit this world, but somebody else decided, no, you've got a second chance, mate. So God bless you, whoever you are. Yeah, so I don't take anything for granted these days. Oh, here we go, Derps. We've got some fan mail here. Sorry, I'm just messaging friends. Oh, the beer burps. Also, my old friend Simon. Goodness me, if I think about it, I've known him 50 years now. Oh, 50 years. How is that even possible? But he's in Japan at the moment. Lucky old Simon. So yeah, imagine that. Just I'd explode if I was in Japan. I would just be overdosing on Godzilla stuff and Gamera and the whole kaiju Eiger thing. Anyway, Derp, shall we crack on? Because we is Gert hungry. Castle Stuart, which is one of my middle names, overlooking the Moray Firth and the mountains beyond. Castle Stuart is a tall, imposing tower house with a warren of stairways, passageways, and hidden doorways. The property was held by the Macintoshes, but was given by Mary, Queen of Scots, to James Stuart, not the actor, not thanks for the castle, Mary. Was given away to James Stuart, Earl of Moray. Moray was made regent for the young James VI, but was assassinated in Linlithgow, and the second Earl was also murdered, this time at Donnybristle. See that entry. The castle was finished by James, 3rd Earl, about 1625, which is almost 4:30, although it was seized by the Macintoshes over a dispute about ownership and compensation. The Macintoshes were bought off and Castle Stuart returned to the Stuarts. Interesting that Castle Stuart, Stuart, returned to the Stuarts, Stewarts. The three-turret chamber is said to be haunted by some frightful bogle. The story goes that the then Earl offered a reward to anyone who would spend the night in the haunted room. A local man called Big Angus agreed to do so, but the next morning was found dead in the courtyard, having fallen from the turret, a look of terror on his face. Overnight accommodation by reservation, telephone number and website. Incroyable derps. What are we up to? 37 minutes. Yeah, this is pacing out nicely. Cheers, me beers. In fact, and run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Castle Tyram, a picturesque ruin in a wild and unspoilt location. Castle Tyram dates from the 14th century and was the main seat of the MacDonalds of Clan Ranald. The building was modified by the heiress Amy MacRowie, wife of John, Lord of the Isles, who was divorced by her husband so he could marry Margaret, daughter of Robert II. The Clan Ranald branch of the MacDonalds came through her. During the Jacobite Rising of 1715, the castle was torched so that Hanoverian forces could not use it, and the chief of Clan Ranald was killed at the Battle of Sheriff Muir. The castle was never reoccupied. Castle Tyram must have been in a fair state of repair, however, as Lady Grange was imprisoned here for a few weeks in 1732 before being taken to the Outer Isles. Haven't we all, ladies? Clan Ranald had a set of magic bagpipes which, when played, is thought to have ensured victory in battle. The clan is also said to have had a familiar spirit, a frog, which had the power to create storm or calm at sea. I wouldn't say no to a frog at the moment because I have been checking my pond, not a metaphor. I've been checking my pond to see if we've got any spawn in there. Nothing at the moment, but one of the things that I will have to do this week, on top of the 101 things I have to do this week, is chop back the foliage in the pond. What is it? Is it lily? No, it's not lily. It's ivy. I can't remember what it is. It's a water-based. It's a pond-based bit of foliage, and that needs chopping back to put more light into the pond. So I'm hoping by doing that, might have some frog spawn. I've had it in recent years, but anyway, I can't think what this blessed plant is called. Anyway, cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. In the magnificent United Federation of Planet Shot Glass, again, Kirsten and Steve in the United States. Cheers, me beers. Castle Toward, in a scenic location with fine views over the Firth of Clyne. Toward, usually spelt Tuort in old documents, castle is an ancient ruinous stronghold. one wall standing to the height of the parapet with the remains of a courtyard which has a decorated arched gateway. The Lamonts held the castle, but in 1646, after the Lamonts had raided Campbell lands, the Campbells bombarded the building with cannon and then captured, looted, and burnt Tuwart. Although the Campbells had promised that the Lamonts could go free, they massacred and mistreated any Lamonts they found, including old folk, women, and children. They took many of the captives back to Dunoon, where they hanged 36 from one tree, while others were buried alive in pits. Many Lamonts changed their name to Black after the slaughter. Many Lamonts changed their name to Black after the slaughter. A hoard of more than 200 silver coins was found here in 1821. The old castle was excavated and consolidated in 1970 and is in the care of the Clan Lamont Society. Castle Tuwart, a baronial mansion not far from the old stronghold, was built in, can't read what this number is, was built in 1820 for Kirkman Finlay, Lord Provost of Glasgow, and then went to the Coates family of Paisley. The property was purchased by Glasgow Corporation in the 1940s, and the house was used as a boys' residential school and then as an outdoor centre. The BBC TV children's series Raven is filmed here. Tuwart Castle has a number of ghost stories, including tales that one of the upstairs rooms was haunted by a ghost that would wake sleepers by stroking their hair. Outdoor centre, ruin accessible with Claire and her. Outdoor centre, ruin accessible with care, phone number and website. Oh, we got some feedback. Let's see what the feedback is. Is it from viewer David? Let's have a look. It is from viewer David. And he says, I recall my friend Marie at uni having an annoying... Okay. And I'm not reading that out. He also says, was blocking the view from her bedroom window. Oh, right. Okay. Let's try that again. I recall my friend Marie at uni having her annoying bush trimmed. Was blocking the view from her bedroom window. I'll let you get away with that one, viewer David. Oh, Derps got off my lap. Thank goodness for that. Right. They're in a bump time. And we've got some illustrations to share with you. So cheers, me beers. Oh, Sludge. No, we haven't got any from the previous pages. So we've got Castle Fraser, page 61, Castle Grant, page 61, and Castle Stewart, page 66. So Fraser has entered the building. There's Castle Jimmy Stewart. And at the bottom is, Castle, there again. Got the beer burps getting in the way. Castle, get my finger out of the way. Castle Fraser at the top, Castle Grant in the middle and Castle Stuart at the bottom. So that's Fraser has left the building. Cary Grant. Hello, my name's Cary Grant. And Castle Stuart. Oh, and then we've got Oh no, these are massively in the future. We haven't even got to these pages yet. So, oh, got some fan mail here. Go, let's have a quick read of the fan mail. Bear with. I don't think that's how you spell puerile. Oh, it is, apparently. That's shown me. Castle Venlaw Hotel, Peebles. Built in a prominent spot with a fine outlook, Venlaw Castle, dating from around 1782, is a large castellated mansion with towers and turrets and lies in 12 acres of grounds. The mansion replaced the ancient castle of Smithfield, which was held by the Hayes in the 16th and 17th centuries, and then by the Dicksons, Dickson. The present mansion was built by Alexander Stevenson, Shepherd Deputy of Peeblesshire, but later passed to the Erskines, then to other families. Venlaw Castle has been a hotel since 1949, now known as the Castle Venlaw Hotel. The mansion is reputedly haunted. The story goes that a guest committed suicide by jumping out of one of the upstairs windows. Unexplained sighing and heavy breathing have apparently been heard coming from one of the rooms. You make your own jokes up, for goodness sake, folks. I mean, I am going to send that to a friend of mine because we do enjoy puerile. We have a similar puerile sense of humor. I'm a Bloomsbury author, for goodness sake, but yeah, I still succumb to puerile jokes and sense of humor. Reset, Freeform. Bear with, folks. Bear with. That'll get me into trouble. Right. Castle Hill, Cambusnethan. Castle Hill is the site of a tower house, little of which survives except a vault. The lands were owned by the Bairds, by the Stuarts, by the Somervilles, and then by the Lockharts, later Sinclair Lockharts of Castle Hill, who still held the property in the 20th century. The site is said to be haunted by a headless horseman. I'm glad that's specific. Cheers, me beers. Just having a quick. So it was owned by the Bairds. Director of Stuart Baird was the director of Star Trek Nemesis. Not a lot of people like that film, but I thought it was pretty good. By the Stewarts, one half of the Eurythmics. By the Somervilles, one half of the Communards. And then by the Lockharts, one part of the cast of Lost in Space. Later, Sinclair Lockharts of Castle Hill. John Gordon Sinclair of Gregory's Girls. So there we go. We've made sense of this. Anyway, Castle Milk. Oh, hang about. We haven't had a bump yet. Slange me up. Castle Milk. Little remains of Castle Milk. Little remains of Castle Milk, a once grand mansion and grounds of the. Little remains of Castle Milk, a once grand mansion and castle of the Stuarts. Mary, Queen of Scots, may have lodged here rather than Craigennethan the night before the Battle of Langside in 1568, when she lost and fled to England. Bought by Glasgow Corporation in 1938, the mansion was occupied as a children's home until 1969. It was then mostly demolished. The house and grounds were reputedly haunted, and there are stories of a white lady near a bridge over the burn, a green lady, and an ancient Scottish soldier that allegedly fired a real arrow into the back of the head of a local who then needed stitches. Here we go. There was also the Mad Major. An apparition who was said to gallop up to the house by moonlight. This was believed to be the return of Captain William Sterling Stewart from Waterloo. Oh my goodness me, Derps. Waterloo by ABBA. I remember that one when that was in the charts. That was their breakthrough single. Oh, bloody love ABBA. In fact, I'm going to treat myself to a copy of ABBA Gold, I think. So cheers, me beers. Oh, slange. Cathedral House, Glasgow. Cathedral House, which lies close to the medieval cathedral in the old part of the city, dates from the 1870s and was used for some years to rehabilitate female prisoners from a nearby prison. The building is now used as a hotel, bar, and bistro. Cathedral House is said to be haunted. The sounds of children have been reported from the top floor, despite none being present, as has an invisible presence pushing people on the stair. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in October 2005 by Ghost Finders, website address, blah, blah, blah. What are we up to? 56 minutes. See again, a paranormal investigation was undertaken in October 2005. 2005 still feels like the recent past. 21 years ago. Incroyable, everybody. Incroyable. I cannot get my head around that. Or what's left of my head, anyway. Slides me away. We're way up to 57 minutes and 11 seconds. Do you know what? We're going to have an extra bump tonight of the scotch, because that'll get us off to sleep tonight. I'm just going to tilt the camera down. I don't know if you can see that. Derp is sat there in front. I know he's walking off now. As soon as I do that, oh, the beer burp. Still apologise. I think the last one for tonight, boys and germs. No, I think we'll do it more tonight. Cawdor Castle. A magnificent and well-preserved stronghold in fine policies. Cawdor Castle incorporates a tall 14th century castle keep with later ranges around a courtyard. There are many fine furnished rooms as well as a magnificent garden. The method of choosing the site for present castle was quite unusual. A donkey was used and the castle was built where the beast finally stopped and rested by a holly tree. Cawdor was built over the tree, the remains of which are in the basement. The title, Thane of Cawdor, is associated with Shakespeare's Macbeth, but King Duncan was not murdered here. The castle is not nearly old enough, and history records that he was killed in battle near Spiney. MacDonald, first Thane of Cawdor, took the name of Cawdor when he was granted the lands in 1236. William, third Thane, was murdered by Sir Alexander Rate of nearby Rate Castle. Also see that entry. The Campbells managed to acquire Cawdor by abducting the child heiress Muriel Cawdor in 1511 and marrying her to Sir John Campbell, son of the Earl of Argyll. The 6 sons of Campbell of Inverliver were slain during her abduction, but the Campbells of Cawdor still own the castle. An apparition of a lady in a blue velvet dress has reputedly been seen here. An apparition of a lady in a blue velvet dress has reputedly been seen here, as has allegedly a phantom of John Campbell, first Lord Cawdor. Website address. Blah, blah, blah. Right, that'll be it for tonight, folks. Cheers, me beers. Oh. Slange. Right, last one for tonight. Castle Hotel, Glasgow. Located in the very heart of Glasgow, the Central Hotel, now Quality Hotel Glasgow, is one of the oldest hotels in the city and is located by Central Railway Station, having been built by the Caledonian Railway Company in 1884. The hotel, sorry, the beer hiccups. The hotel is a large and impressive building, perhaps the most notable part being the monumental clock tower. The hotel has had many famous visitors down the years, including Laurel and Hardy, Roy Rogers and his horse Trigger, Danny Kaye, John F. Kennedy, Frank Sinatra, Cary Grant, and even the Queen and Prince Philip. John Logie Baird used the hotel to transmit. John Logie Baird used the hotel to. John Logie Baird used the hotel to transmit the first long-distance television pictures. There are stories that the building is haunted by the bogle of a young maid who is said to have become pregnant. There are stories that the building is said to be haunted by the bogle of a young maid who is said to have become pregnant and then committed suicide, as well as by the spirit of a chef who fell from one of the upper windows 7 stories to his death. And that'll be it for tonight. Goodness me, boys and girls. Cheers, me beers. What are we up to? 10:30. Goodness me, that's far too late. But cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's it for tonight. What can I say? Absolutely belting stuff this evening. Fingers crossed, we will be back with Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra on a Wednesday. I've forgotten what day of the week it will be. See, we used to do the Monday show, but then I decided that no, I was enjoying it far too much, and I was enjoying the drink a bit too much, quite frankly. So we're back to 3 shows a week, which I think is quality entertainment, whatever way you look at it. But anyway, so fingers crossed, we'll be back on Wednesday night with Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra. Until then, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Sunday night at the beginning of February than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories, and read alcohol? I was going to say watch Match of the Day too, but bloody Liverpool lost today, so I'm really quite miffed. So anyway, until the next time, as ever, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night.